Today, we are going to be sharing some tips on how you can pay off some debt really fast.
Hey
guys, it's Tasha
and Joseph with One Big Happy Life. We make videos about how to find balance, build wealth, and live happy. So if you want more videos about how to create a life that you love, this is the place for you. Make sure to subscribe for more videos.
So in today's video, like we said, we are going to be sharing tips on how you can pay off debt super fast. But first, I want to start out by saying that you don't have to pay off debt fast. As a matter of fact, last year, we decided we were just going to slow pay our debts because they were all at a very low interest rate, and we wanted to work on other financial goals like increasing our savings. So if you want to slow pay your debt and you have reason to do that, that's perfectly fine. And even though we slowed paid our debt last year, we still ended up paying off over $20,000 worth of debt, which is amazing.
Assuming that you've decided that paying off debt is the way to go, we want you to think about why you are paying off that debt. Because you are going to need something that's more than a mantra about debt being bad or evil to keep you motivated to your goal, which is paying off that debt. You're going to need the bigger picture.
Not to mention that getting into the habit of focusing on your goals and having that be at the forefront of all of your financial decision making, that will actually help you stick to all of your goals in the long run, whether it's paying off debt or saving money or saving up for a house or putting away college for your kids. Knowing your why will keep you in it when the going gets a little tough.
Quick second caveat, make sure that you are no longer amassing debt. So whatever plans you have in place, you have to stop getting more in debt to be able to get out of debt.
And one of the best ways that you can do that is to have a budget. And we specifically recommend budgeting for an entire year at a time. We've done a video about that. We will drop a link to that down below and in the description box and in a card up above. And we also have a free year-long budget template that you can download on our website, onebighappylife.com/budget. So start with your budget.
Okay, now we're to the steps of paying off debt fast. Step number 1 is getting to know your debts. So you want to make sure that you have everything under control. Like you have a grasp on what all your debts are, what the interest rates are, what the payment dates are, what the minimum payment is, all of that kind of stuff. This is also a great time to go ahead and get a free credit report because you want to see if there's something lingering out there that you forgot about or didn't even know about, and take the time to get that corrected too. So now that you've listed out your interest rates, the due dates, the balances of all of your debts, you can move on to the next step.
So step number 2 is to make sure that your budget is rock solid. Make sure that it is realistic, that you've included everything that you need to include in your budget, because the last thing that you want to do is throw a whole bunch of money into paying off debt and then come to find out that you actually forgot about an expense, and then you end up having to pay fees or, again, going into more debt because you don't have any extra cash to cover those expenses.
Step number 3 is to calculate your budget surplus. So you've done that budget, and the surplus is the amount that you have remaining after your expenses to be able to put towards that debt.
Step number 4, choose which debts you want to pay off first. Now, the bottom line, absolute fastest way to pay off your debt numerically is to pay off the debts with the highest interest rates first, because that way you're paying less in interest over time, which will then save you money. So you will have to put less money towards your debt. Of course, and that's known as the debt avalanche method. Now, there's also the debt snowball, where you start with the smallest debt that you have so that you can get a quick win. Now, we personally don't recommend that. We think that you can motivate yourself by just watching the total dollar amount of your debt go down, and also by calculating how long it's going to take you to pay off your debt. You can, crisscross days or months or whatever on a calendar to help keep you motivated and save you money in the long run.
Step number 5 is to look into lowering your interest rates. If you can lower your interest rates, that just saves you money and helps you pay off that debt faster. So you should look at things like a balance transfer or even a consolidation loan that can lower your interest rate, maybe make it a little bit easier to manage those payments, and really help you out in the long run. But it's important to take a look at all of the fees associated with anything that you're doing, and also, is it a promotional interest rate or is it one that's going to last the long term?
And the other thing to keep in mind is this. Now, we would love for you to definitely be self-disciplined enough to do a balance transfer and then not continue to use your credit cards. But if that is a risk for you, then you may be better off not doing the balance transfer and just instead focusing on paying off that debt as quickly as possible. Or alternatively, doing the balance transfer and then immediately closing that other credit card. Now, keep in mind that closing a credit card could have a negative impact on your overall credit score. So you'll want to balance those considerations.
Step number 6, work on increasing your budget surplus. So that's the amount that you have available to pay on debts after taking care of your immediate expenses. And there are 2 big ways of doing this. Number 1 is increasing your income. Now, this could be something small, like maybe you want to start a side hustle or you already have something going. Maybe there's something in your house that you can sell because you don't use it anymore. Or you could also look at some career advancement. Ask for a raise at work or start shopping around for a promotion, because if you switch jobs, you might be able to get an increase in salary of 10%.
Now, the other side of the equation is reducing your expenses. So that means taking a good, long, hard look at your budget and seeing where you can cut costs. So it can be something as simple as calling your utility company or your insurance company and seeing if they'd be willing to lower your rates. And if they're not, seeing if any other companies out there can offer you a better deal and making the switch. You can also do things like have roommates if you're in that kind of position, or if you're renting, you might choose to downsize, rent a smaller, less expensive place. There are a lot of options when it comes to cutting your expenses, especially if you're just doing it short term to try to make some big progress on your goal to pay off debt.
Now, step number 7, you want this to last the long haul. So try to identify something like a passion project that doesn't cost any money or costs very little money to keep you positive and motivated while you're paying off all this debt. And who knows, something small might become a side hustle or an alternative career. I mean, the key is staying positive through all of this so you actually pay off all the debt that you intended to and actually reach those goals that you want, which is why you're paying off the debt in the first place.
Yeah, like Joseph said, absolutely stay positive. And it's important to recognize that while, yes, it would be great if everything worked out according to plan and you stuck to your budget 100% and you were able to knock that debt out perfectly on schedule, life happens. And so just remember to be flexible, give yourself some grace, give yourself a little love. It's okay if things don't work out exactly as planned. You just need to pick yourself up, reframe, refocus, and then get back to tackling those financial goals. And the truth is, you might decide at some point that maybe you want to pivot and do something else. Like we did some rapid debt payoff 2 years ago, and then we decided that was enough. And then we took a year off, and now we're doing it again to get rid of the last of the debt that we had. And so it doesn't all absolutely have to happen immediately.
We hope you enjoyed this video and use these tips to pay off all the debt that you're hoping to pay off this year. Give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. See you next time.
Bye.